no man left behind. A look at how Louisville decided to try and end the growing problem of homeless veterans in our community. Hello, I'm Andy Trinan. Homelessness, a problem everywhere, but often not addressed the way it needs to be. Mayor Greg Fischer's goal is for Louisville to be known as a compassionate city. One way to grow as a compassionate city is to reduce homelessness. A nationwide challenge was introduced last year, and Mayor Fischer and Louisville rose to accept it. On June 14, 2014, First Lady Michelle Obama introduced the mayor's challenge to end veteran homelessness, an initiative for communities to end a portion of the population's homelessness by the end of 2015.
These leaders are best equipped to tackle this challenge because they know their communities inside and out, and they're in touch with service providers who know these veterans by name. So they aren't just going to address veteran homelessness in their cities and states. They're going to end it, and they're going to do it by the end of 2015.
Mayor Fischer signed the pledge a few months later, making Louisville one of the first cities to accept the ambitious goal.
All of us believe, and I think every American does, that no one who wore our country's uniform should have to live in the streets or in a shelter, and we're committed to working together to eliminate that homelessness in our community here this year.
Louisville identified 360 veterans needing assistance, and for the past year, with the coalition of partners, worked to find them homes and get them the services and the help that they all needed.
Just recently, the President addressed the Veterans of Foreign Wars, or VFW, at their national convention in Washington, D.C., and he referenced 3 or 4 cities, including Louisville, as an example of what can happen toward ending veteran homelessness when the partnerships are as effective as they are here in our community.
We're seeing major progress in cities like Salt Lake City and Louisville. So this has become a national movement, and we stand by our pledge. We are going to keep at it until every veteran who has fought for America has a place to call home in America.
Louisville is meeting the challenge because of the efforts of the city. Numerous nonprofits, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, the Louisville Metro Housing Authority, the Coalition for the Homeless, Volunteers of America, and the Robley Rex VA Hospital. But helping homeless veterans is more than providing them with a place to live.
We do outreach every day in the community at shelters, and we have transitional housing where veterans can get back to work, get into treatment, save money, find housing. But a lot of the veterans need more case management and more support to do that.
Funding from HUD helped establish assessment teams who now identify those needing the most help in our community.
They have a team of people who, instead of somebody getting into shelter and then getting stuck there and we don't know where they are, or they're somewhere out sleeping on the streets and nobody knows how to get resources to them, they go to that person and assess them within 14 days of somebody identifying them as homeless in our community. And we use that assessment so that we're no longer housing people first come, first serve. We now house you based on the person who has the greatest need.
Every branch of the military believes that no man should be left behind, and that includes being left behind here at home to live on the streets.
When we have housed all the veterans that are homeless in our community, that's not enough. We can't leave anyone behind, and they have committed to continue to work with us as we go through the next population and the next population, because they don't want to see any homeless person living or dying here on the streets of Louisville.
It fits right in with the mayor's desire to make Louisville a more compassionate city. I don't know what could be more important than knowing that the community we live in actually cares about people.
Approximately 60% of all the veterans in the state of Kentucky live in Louisville. Some mayors in other cities have taken notice and have asked about copying Louisville's success. Coming up next, you'll meet some of the partners in this ambitious initiative.
5 years ago, we brought back the Veterans Day Parade to Louisville. It was one of the first things I did as mayor, recognizing the need to honor the men and women who sacrificed so much for our freedom and to thank our current military and their families.
This year's parade is on Wednesday, November 11th, starting at 11:11 a.m. The route is on Main Street from 3rd to 6th Streets.
We want to invite all current and former military members, Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, and Coast Guard to walk the parade route with us. Meet on the corner of 3rd and Main.
Immediately following the parade, the massing of the colors ceremony will occur on the front steps of the Kentucky Center. A special thanks to our sponsors, UAW 862, Ford Motor Company, and Humana.
Now, during the second week of November, we will also celebrate our second week of valor. The mission of our VCAL group for this event is to honor veterans, educate the public, and celebrate the lives of veterans, active duty military men and women, and their families.
A health and resource fair, 5K run, art show, banquet, volunteer opportunities, and so much more are planned.
I encourage you to participate. So for additional information, visit our website, louisvilleky.gov, or follow me, Mayor Greg Fischer, on social media. On behalf of a grateful community, thank you for your service, and I look forward to seeing you during our Week of Valor and the Veterans Day Parade.
The mayor's challenge to end veteran homelessness is a unique project, bringing together local, state, and federal agencies to end the problem. The Volunteers of America Coalition for the Homeless and Housing and Urban Development are just a few of the groups working and helping our city's homeless population. As you're about to see, it's a mission that everyone wants to help succeed. Louisville is recognized on a national level for its efforts to help veterans and get them into permanent housing and on the road to a stable, healthy life. Once off the streets, it takes more than a village to help make everything happen. The Louisville Department of Housing and Urban Development is one of dozens of agencies helping out.
If you have any other questions, just give us a call back here. All right, take care.
Chris Taylor says Louisville is ahead of the curve when it comes to dealing with our homeless population.
The great thing that they're doing here that I think is amazing, Louisville is not just concerned about getting folks into housing, they're also concerned about getting folks educational opportunities, employment opportunities, and anything to really advance them from public assistance.
The Louisville HUD office helped round up partners, including the Metro Housing Authority, to help fill in the gap on resources needed to help homeless veterans. A plan was born and put to work.
That's why we brought the Housing Authority on board to set up a veteran preference in both their Section 8 voucher program and public housing program to serve those veterans that really don't have the appropriate discharge for those other resources or may not be eligible for VA health benefits.
Once a veteran is placed in permanent housing, the assistance doesn't stop. If anything, it grows. A simple voucher allows them to come here, the St. Vincent de Paul thrift store, and shop for what they need.
Really, it's a pretty simple process. If you can appreciate the household needs when you're starting a new home up, it's broad. It's everything from pots and pans to tables and chairs and bed linens. So we can usually cover the bases.
But St. Vincent de Paul couldn't help the veterans unless it received help as well. They received a welcome donation from the Al Schneider Company, owners of the Gold House.
We received the call from the Coalition for the Homeless. They informed us that they had received donation of furniture from the Gold House.
Our company has helped veterans in other ways. Besides this is the first time with furniture. We've been very involved with the Wounded Warriors and being able to help them in many different ways, and very happy to do it.
The Gold House and the Crown Plaza by the airport were getting renovated. Normally, all the furniture in the rooms gets shipped to liquidators out of the state to sell. But when the companies learned that it could help people here at home, it was an offer they couldn't refuse.
When we found resources here of people that really needed the furniture, it worked out much better for everybody because we're helping the community along with the people in our community. We had 600 sleeping rooms, so we had desks and tables and chairs that you could use like for dinettes. We had bedding and nightstands and comfortable like living chairs. It's not a finished product to a house, but it's certainly a good start.
Taylor from Louisville's HUD office believes that the model used here could be used not only across the state but across the country as well. Still ahead, meet two former homeless veterans who are now on the road to new lives.
5 years ago, we brought back the Veterans Day Parade to Louisville. It was one of the first things I did as mayor, recognizing the need to honor the men and women who sacrificed so much for our freedom and to thank our current military and their families.
This year's parade is on Wednesday, November 11th, starting at 11:11 a.m. The route is on Main Street from 3rd to 6th Streets.
We want to invite all current and former military members, Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, and Coast Guard to walk the parade route with us. Meet on the corner of 3rd and Main.
Immediately following the parade, the massing of the colors ceremony will occur on the front steps of the Kentucky Center. A special thanks to our sponsors, UAW 862, Ford Motor Company, and Humana.
Now, during the second week of November, we will also celebrate our second week of valor. The mission of our VCAL group for this event is to honor veterans, educate the public, and celebrate the lives of veterans, active duty military men and women, and their families.
A health and resource fair, 5K run, art show, banquet, volunteer opportunities, and so much more are planned.
I encourage you to participate. So for additional information, visit our website, louisvilleky.gov, or follow me, Mayor Greg Fischer, on social media. On behalf of a grateful community, thank you for your service, and I look forward to seeing you during our Week of Valor and the Veterans Day Parade.
Welcome back. Ed Dowland knows about serving our country, and he also knows the hardships of being homeless. But as you're about to see, he's starting a new life in Louisville, and he couldn't be more grateful for the help that he's received.
My average day, I didn't care if I woke up the next day. I just didn't. I knew that if I didn't get some help, that I was gonna die. Got in my sister's car and we came to Louisville, and I had $4 in my pocket. They dropped me off at the healing place, and I went in and signed up, and it was a burden taken off my back. See, I've been packing this load, you know, I didn't know what I was suffering from, and I've been packing this load for 30 years probably. And I knew I was right there where I needed to be at. Because this is all I ever hoped for, you know, my own home. And I love to work outdoors, and I got a backyard. I'm a carpenter, I can build me a garage or whatever, and man, it's just amazing. I enjoyed being a part of something new that would benefit a whole lot more veterans. It was scary. It was, because it was a whole new neighborhood, and I was thinking, wow, man, this is 3-bedroom house, 2 bathrooms. Man, I don't need half of this. But then I realized, well, you got to watch what you pray for. Because like I said, I got a sister that's 76 and she's still living, and she just loves her little brother. And I got a brother up in Kokomo, and my baby sister and them have came, but they had to stay in motels, but now they don't have to. They don't have to. They can come and make themselves right at home, just like they treated me, The promises, they came true, I got sober, and that was more than I thought I would get by coming to Louisville, but I got so much more. Thank you for believing in me, and and just believing in us veterans. I know I'm nothing special, and I know you would do it for each and every one of them, but I want to say to those veterans also, man, we have to do our part. We take one step, and all those 10, 15 other people in all the organizations, they would take 4 or 5 steps with us. But we got to do our part in it. We had to work and build up our credit score and, do all we can, And once we do that, man, and we trust in a God of our understanding, man, the sky's the limit. And I think I'm about high as I need to get right here, I am.
Ed's homelessness came after struggles with addiction, but that's not the case for everyone. Kathleen Burleson's story of hardship and homelessness came as a result of a series of incredibly unfortunate events.
I was 17 when I went into the Army, and I was the first girl to go into the Army into Fort Dix as 82nd Airborne. And then we went to AIT in Texas. Then I went to Walter Reed Army Medical Center for 4 years. Lately, we have had some weird luck, and I broke my hips and had to have surgery. I had double hip replacement, and it was veterans who took care of me. And we thought everything was going just great, and then all of a sudden during Derby, we were staying with relatives because we were having a hard time with, housing. We just bought a home. We just got a home. I had stayed 11 months at Wayside getting a home. Got the home, and the landlord passed away 2 months after I moved in. So we were sitting in our relative's house on Derby Day when the Pegasus Parade was going on. And during the Pegasus Parade, all the phones started going off, and somebody said, "Auntie, Auntie, your house is on fire." The only thing that was left were sticks. The whole house was gone, except for the first 3 rooms of the house. When by the time I got there, it was just sticks holding up the back end of the house. So that meant I was gonna have to go stay in a homeless shelter again to start all over again. And I was just devastated. I just didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to turn. So I called for help. And that's when I called Mr. Carter from VA and asked him what to do. And he helped me. He told me to just go to Wayside and wait. And they had a new veterans program, and they were gonna help me out. And that's when I heard about HUD VASH. And HUD VASH was what helped me out. They came in with a program to help veterans. Then I got a caseworker. She helps me out with my budget, make sure that I can make sure I'm able to stick with the budget so that if anything happens within the year, they will be able to manage with our budget and everything else to make sure that it's successful so that we won't be in a situation where we might be homeless again.
I'm Stephanie McDonald, and I received Miss Kathleen's referral. I work in the Department of Community Services, and one of our new initiatives is to help homeless veterans pay their deposits for their apartments, and if they need assistance with any barrier funds, as far as household items, we are able to buy those items. So Ms. Kathleen has thanked us a numerous amount of times for helping her and her family.
Okay, because of this program, I now feel more comfortable. I feel more at home. I feel more whole than I did before. I mean, now I can say this could be my last move, because I have been chronically homeless for about 3 years now, and now I can say this could be my permanent home now for at least a good 5 years. We might not have much right now. I'm living proof that they can actually help you get into a home and actually get you a place to live. So please, please come in out of the cold, and please come in and get yourself straightened out. I would love to say thank you to the many people at VA who helped us out. Home is where the heart is.
If you know someone dealing with homelessness, regardless of whether they're a veteran or not, please call 637-BEDS, which is 637-2337. The coordinated assessment team will be happy to help them.
5 years ago, we brought back the Veterans Day Parade to Louisville. It was one of the first things I did as mayor, recognizing the need to honor the men and women who sacrificed so much for our freedom and to thank our current military and their families.
This year's parade is on Wednesday, November 11th, starting at 11:11 a.m. The route is on Main Street from 3rd to 6th Streets.
We want to invite all current and former military members, Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, and Coast Guard to walk the parade route with us. Meet on the corner of 3rd and Main.
Immediately following the parade, the massing of the colors ceremony will occur on the front steps of the Kentucky Center. A special thanks to our sponsors, UAW 862, Ford Motor Company, and Humana.
Now, during the second week of November, we will also celebrate our second week of valor. The mission of our VCAL group for this event is to honor veterans, educate the public, and celebrate the lives of veterans, active duty military men and women, and their families.
A health and resource fair, 5K run, art show, banquet, volunteer opportunities, and so much more are planned.
I encourage you to participate. So for additional information, visit our website, louisvilleky.gov, or follow me, Mayor Greg Fischer, on social media. On behalf of a grateful community, thank you for your service, and I look forward to seeing you during our Week of Valor and the Veterans Day Parade.
Mayor Fischer credits the success of the Homeless Veterans Program to everyone who came together to make sure resources were in place to help people. Fischer and Community Services Director Katina Whitlock believe that the program will continue to thrive for years to come.
It's going to be an ongoing program. There's a lot of veterans coming back from our various conflicts right now that have mental illness issues that need to be addressed, and we'll be on top of that. We need to have the resources, and we can execute.
Homelessness is a continuum across our country, across our community. The homelessness of veterans will continue to be an issue. We expect that 20,000 veterans will return from post 9/11 war statuses, and those people will probably come to our community because we are a veteran-friendly community. So making sure that we keep the process sustainable, keeping the process aware in the community, and making sure that we continue to serve our veterans because they've served us.
Thank you for joining us for No Man Left Behind. We do want to remind you that you can help to change the life of a veteran or any homeless person in our community by contacting the Coordinated Assessment Team at 637 Beds. Thanks for watching. I'm Andy Trinan.